still do. We still do. We still do. We still do after all this time at the altar. I alter my mind and vow to God I love you till he make his return. The rain should be the least of your concern. Under God's umbrella, I promise to provide and preserve his word.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to season 2 of We Still Do. We're your host. I'm Jermaine.
I'm Lena.
And whether you're decades in or newlyweds, We Still Do is for you.
Yes, and if you're new around here, make sure that you like and subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you don't miss a weekly episode. And if you've been here since the beginning in season 2, hey, welcome back. We are back and so excited. We were thinking and reflecting.
With you.
Oh, okay. You can break out a song? This with you till the... Oh, okay. And not know the words. And we're done. Okay, so anyways, just excuse that little intermission. We were talking and reflecting on season 1, and we just realized that this is more than a podcast, and we are actually building a community. We have watched people choose to grow, choose to heal, choose God, choose faith, choose each other.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make it official. Like, we don't want this to be a situationship. We want to make it a relationship.
We want to marry you.
That's a way to say it. We want to be in community with you. And we wanted to give y'all a name. You know what I mean? I felt like it was missing. So, honey, can you give them, what we calling them? What's our community name?
Give me a drum roll, please. No, I'd rather for you doing it on your legs. It sounds a little bit more bassier.
Not me doing it at the same time.
What's going on, Thrivers?
Thrivers.
And the reason why we decided on Thrivers is because one of the things we believe in is that you really can thrive in your marriage.
Yes.
You don't have to just survive. You don't have to go day in, day out. You don't have to pass each other like ships in the night. We truly believe that no matter where you are in your marriage, you can thrive. And we want to build a community of thrivers because we know marriage can really be difficult. Marriage can be lonely. And we want to be able to create a space where like-minded people really want to come and just grow together. And so that's our vision for this community that we want to make.
Yeah. And thrivers are people that are not perfect. We're not asking that of you, but people who are determined to grow, people who are determined to heal and choose each other. Hence the name We Still Do, no matter what season or what you go through. So welcome, Thrivers. Welcome. We are now a community, and we're so glad that you are here.
Yeah, and if you are new here, this is actually a great place to start.
Yes.
Because at the launch of this marks our 5-year celebration of launching LEVLOVE. And so what we want to do for this first episode is we want to make sure that you understand who we are in our hearts. And so that way you get an idea for who we are and what we want to see happen. So, honey, I'll kick it off to you.
Yeah, we were talking and I didn't think that we ever really formally shared with our community who we are. And so you can see on the shirt, LEVLOVE. Show them your sweater. On mine, you can see LEVLOVE. And we launched LEVLOVE 5 years ago now. Yeah. Wow, time has flew by.
I know.
And it started as an act of obedience. The Lord told us to launch LEVLOVE. We knew the mission was to go after marriages and equip them with the tools and the resources that they needed. And I believe that the Lord gave us this because we didn't have that. We didn't have resources. We didn't have a blueprint to what that looked like. And so allowing us to be that example and to give marriages something that's needed because we so believe that it is the most valuable relationship you can have that's reflective of Christ in the church. And we didn't feel like there was a lot of people helping you to navigate that. And so it was me and you seeking the Lord for what our union, what we were to come together to do in terms of marriage. What have you called us to? If one could put 1,000 and two can put 10,000 in flight. So if we're coming together, we want to do more for you. And so what does that look like? And in seeking the Lord, he revealed to you about marriage, right? Yeah. You want to share that?
So when I was just praying like, Lord, what is it that I'm supposed to do? What is it that we're supposed to do? He reminded me of when I was in high school and I was the knucklehead that couldn't have a relationship. Well, let me take that back. I had a relationship, but I was a knucklehead. Like I I was no good. I was just football player, all about girls and all the things. And back then, because I couldn't really keep the relationship, I was the third wheel. Like I was best friends with like him and her. And they would come to me for advice. And when they did, and they talked about whatever and they came back together, I had a sense of fulfillment. And so the Lord reminded me of that. The Lord reminded me that when I was in high school, I got a sense of fulfillment that, man, like I really love helping people come back together. And so I like, okay, well, what does that look like? I decided to get my master's, become an LMFT, because they can teach me how to work with couples. And so my faith was important. So I went to Fresno Pacific, shameless plug. And from there was the birth of LEVLOVE, because it wasn't just what can I do for couples by myself, but what can I do? What can I look like for us together? And so that's kind of how we got started.
We prayed it, and it was an act of obedience completely, because we had no idea what it was going to look like or how the Lord was going to allow it to unfold. When he said launch, we just start putting things in place. We got the website and we got the name and, created the logo, and we started doing the faith steps. I feel like many times when the Lord speaks to people, they want to wait to have the full picture. And sometimes the Lord is waiting on you to take the first step, the steps of faith for that promise to be fulfilled. And so in the faith steps, we launched, and we did a whole launch party, and we invited 50 of the closest people to us that has been instrumental into our marriage. That was 5 years ago. It's crazy. We rented out a restaurant on the top of the Darling Hotel, the rooftop. And so from there, it was during 2020, 2021 is when we launched. And the pandemic was very much so still a thing. And we knew...
just starting, actually.
Yeah. Well, we knew that couples needed connection. We were hearing like date nights weren't a thing, right? Most places were shut down. And so we started creating these community date nights. And that's kind of how we started.
Yeah. So just to even dive a little bit more into that, like when it was around when we were trying to figure out what we were going to do, one of the things that people kept telling us was, they're basically like, y'all like relationship goals. There's something about your relationship that looks different than what couples usually experience in their first year of marriage. And so we had these people around us that, just kind of looked at our marriage and seen that it was healthy and it was different. And we started to think like, what is it about our relationship that's different? What is it about the first year that's super difficult? And then I remember we stumbled across some research that basically said that at the when they did a study, and they studied just like successful couples who divorce, one of the things that was foundational for every successful marriage was a strong friendship.
Yeah.
And so when we started to observe just all the relationships around us that seemed healthy, that seemed not healthy, we really started to see like, man, like they don't go on date nights. Like they don't have fun. Like they love each other, but they're just doing the adult things.
Yeah.
Like it's not this childlikeness in a relationship. So what if we can create a space for couples to do that?
Yeah.
And so we put on community date nights.
Yeah. We put on community date nights, and I want to go back a step because the whole thing is thriving. Like we want to equip couples with the tools they need to thrive in marriage. And somewhere along the journey, I feel like a lot of people have bought into the lie that marriage is hard. It's work, but it doesn't have to feel burdensome. And people have bought into the lie that marriage is hard and it has to be miserable. And I've seen throughout the years, and even before we launched, so many couples were together, but they were like almost like roommates, like there was nothing connecting them. And so I'm reading Genesis 1, and well, not Genesis 1, I believe it's Genesis 3, where Adam and Eve is formed. And the Lord said that it is good.
It was 2.
It was 2. Okay, I'm off. Genesis 2. And the Lord said that it was good. After he made Adam and Eve, he said it was good. He said it was very good. And so I'm like, then why, if he called it good, then where did it become bad, or where did it become miserable, or where did it become this thing, that we have to just survive marriage? And I think we had a different perspective based on our experience and wanted to switch the narrative to the marriage and the divorce rates and all the things to show and share from a biblical perspective that you can thrive in marriage. And so we started putting on community date nights and creating this environment and this space. And do you remember what our first date night was?
No.
We did the launch party because this is a reflective
I
moment
was
for
gonna
us
say
too.
that's
The launch
yeah,
party
what did we
doesn't
do
count.
first?
But the second date we did was a movie date
Movie date.
at the Galaxy because at the time
Oh
the movies
yeah.
was shut down, so you
Yeah,
couldn't go to the movie. So we rented out the whole theater.
yeah.
You remember that? We had to
Yeah,
because
I
of
do.
COVID.
Yeah.
They couldn't have people in the theaters. So that was one of our first dates we did. One of the biggest ones that became like a staple was our dancing under.
Dancing Under the Stars.
Yeah, I think it was
Dancing Under the Stars.
Dancing Under the Stars.
Mhm.
And we did that once a year, and we would have a dance instructor come out and like teach the couples a dance. So we did tango, we did salsa, and so we even did country.
We did line dancing.
We did line dancing. That was
Line
one of the
dancing.
funnest ones. We did
Yeah.
line dancing. And then we were like, okay, this is good. You know, as the years went on, we're putting on these community date nights. The
Yeah.
people are loving them. And we were like, we want to give them more than just a good time. So then we started to share a little bit. We would not make it about us teaching, but we would maybe speak for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they got to enjoy the date and each other as well.
Yeah. We had the conversation with our board, and we were just sharing with them like, okay, this is what we're doing. And I think part of it though is also like some of the feedback we kind of start hearing, you know, I wouldn't say he say, she say,
Mhm.
but it was like when we hear like, okay, like, yeah, like people want to go on dates, but their marriages are struggling. And so we knew that our niche, whatever you prefer, was like connection. Like we knew that people from research, they needed to have a friendship so that even when you go through conflict, the blows aren't as intense.
Yeah.
They're more durable. Like you can endure them more. And we knew that, but it's like we also are hearing that people aren't coming to our date nights because they're struggling in their marriage. And so then that leads us to figuring out how can we blend the two.
Mhm.
Okay, well, let's just do like a 5-10 minute nugget drop.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And we just kind of made that a thing.
Yeah.
And then the Lord kind of dealt with us about, okay, I think it started with a vision for our marriage. You know, we do the word every year.
We pray every year for a word for our marriage in the direction the Lord has for us.
Mhm. And this particular year, I think it might have been last year,
Year before,
2024.
2024.
2024 going into 2025.
Yep.
He told us, I want you, the word is disciple.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want you to disciple and I want you to be disciple.
Yes.
And so, you know, as we're kind of developing that for our marriage, like, okay, Lord, like just help us understand what it looks like. And immediately he said, I want that to be for LEVLOVE. Okay, Lord, what does that look like?
Yeah.
What does it look like to disciple? And so that's where okay, well, I mean, you had 12. So what if we do a
12 couples.
discipleship group?
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
And then so our discipleship groups is kind of what led to what we did last year.
Yeah. Last year we did our first Thriving Together is the name of our marriage discipleship group. And we did our first one and it was awesome. We ended with the retreat. It was 6 months lessons. We would come together. We wanted to bring both because I feel like date nights are important for us in our own marriage. Like we do weekly date nights. LEVLOVE started with community date nights. So we wanted to bring that, and also give you more. So it's more heavy on the teaching, but it has a date night atmosphere. There's food involved, but it also bridges the Thrivers community because you're now able to rub shoulder to shoulder with other marriages who are walking it out and to know you're not alone. I feel like as marriages, even for us, we were saying like we hardly go on double dates with other couples. And so for us to fellowship as couples in marriages, we felt like that was an essential part and to intimately be able to disciple them, pray for them, you know, on a more intimate level. And so the birth of the discipleship groups happened last year. We did our first retreat last year, which was amazing. The couples loved it, raved about it. We did our first marriage revival at our church last year, which is going to be an annual thing for us. We launched this podcast last year. We still do.
Saying shout out to Maya, shout out to Ricky.
Yes, Naya. Yeah, everybody behind the scenes.
On deck.
We launched our podcast. We still do. And so I was like, I don't think we introduced LEVLOVE because we still do is under the umbrella of LEVLOVE. And so I guess that brings us to current. And this year, what are you looking forward to? Like, what is the vision for LEVLOVE, Be Still Do?
I think for me, like the mission obviously is the same.
Mm-hmm.
We want to equip couples with tools.
Yes.
And the vision behind it is when we think of healthy relationship, especially healthy Christian couples, there is this image of Christ and his church in the marriage.
Yeah.
Like it resembles that. And when you think about just exactly how that plays out, there should be this community effect that like flows from that. And when you think about like at the foundation of every community, like every community had to start with a smaller group of people, which eventually started from some one relationship. And so our goal is that when people see your marriage, when people see our marriage, when people sees anyone's marriage, especially as Christians, there should be some reflection of Christ and his relationship to the church in that. And that's important because it's a model for how we show up in relationships. Like as husbands, when we model that, there's a way that when we love our spouses, that it reflects Christ, and it should like point our spouse to Christ to have a deeper, more intimate relationship. For wives, it's like respect your husbands. Pause. Almost said
Not your husband.
But there should be something about it that is reflective. Yeah. And so my vision is like, man, Lord, I want to see more of that, because I know for me personally, like the more I lean into you, the more my marriage is blessed, the more my marriage is impacted. Like even when I'm in therapy, I know my relationship with you helps me, because when I feel stuck and I'm just like, Lord, like I really don't know where to go. Like I'm in a situation where I don't know how to navigate. And I just simply ask that question, and it would just one little small thing leads to the other. And then it's like, okay, thank you, Holy Spirit, for giving me that. And so there's something about being close with Christ that is necessary in marriage. And so I want to see more couples healthy.
Yeah.
Because healthy couples, healthy families, healthy kids, healthy community, I'm all for it.
It's generational. It's literally generationally. The impact of a marriage has that effect on generations to follow, and especially in your home, because they're watching you, and based on what they're seeing in your marriage is what they will seek out as they grow into adults. And so I know another vision that we have is one, to build community with the Thrivers community this year. That is going to be a focus of ours, to build our community. And the long-term goal is to reach 1 million couples, and not for the sake of us or making LEVLOVE known, but we really want godly centered marriages. I know you work with couples a lot and have realized if there is no moral standard, then there's only so much you can do. Like everybody's just living wild and doing what they want or what they feel is right. But when there is a moral standard, biblical principles that we abide by and we live by, we honor and live out, then it governs the marriage and what that looks like. And so it's not just enough to thrive in marriage. I don't even know that you can truly grow without the Lord, but to have godly centered marriages. And so I think in the long term of being able to reach 1 million couples, when I look at that, I'm thinking thousands and thousands and millions of generations that will be impacted, and the impact that has on the church and communities and homes, like you just said. And so that is the vision. The mission hasn't changed from the beginning. It is to equip couples with the tools they need to thrive. And so we will continue in that. Although it looks different, I feel that we're more aligned in the call of this ministry than we ever have been before, in terms of, okay, like, this is our niche. This is what we do, is like, we're discipling marriages. And so the podcast is a part of that. Our social media is a part of that. Our discipleship groups is a part of that. And speaking is a part of that. We also do coaching. We do marriage coaching. You're actually a LMFT. Well, you will be. You're on the journey to LMFT, but you're AMFT right now.
At the recording of this podcast,
Yes.
I am AMFT. If you see this in a couple years, I will be an LMFT.
Yes, yeah.
100%.
In one more year. But you are AMFT, and so that, even, of course, you have a different perspective because you've actually went to gain the knowledge behind it. And so I believe also that is a resource. But you do therapy work. Together we do marriage coaching. And then we've also had the privilege to walk along several couples on their premarital journey to get married. And even you've officiated a few weddings. And so I don't even know if people know the full scope of who we are, what we offer, the things that we do. And so I don't think we will completely stray away from dates. It'll be a part of our discipleship, but I would love to do like one community date a year, because people are like, are you guys going to put on more dates?
Yeah.
We will at least
See.
one a year.
You gotta be on group.
You got to get the group.
No, but I think along with the vision is I thought of, like, man, just when you're healthy as a marriage, like, the way you interact with people is different. Like, it made me think of like just the babies that encounter these people in, like, maybe the educational system and corporate world or in some other capacities, that really get the person who is super duper stressed because of their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it really does make the biggest difference. And a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on business. They put a lot of emphasis on money. They put emphasis on, like, the material, the status, but not a lot of emphasis goes into marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when we think about, I know locally, but I think this is probably representative of different areas. Like, the one ministry that churches don't have is marriage ministries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there is the children's, there's the men, there's the women's, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's these other groups, but churches are lacking marriage ministries. And, like, there's one part of me that definitely understands that, because when you're working with couples, you have to have the tolerance and you have to have the patience. Mm-hmm. It's hard to sit with two people who might have just found out that the other person was cheating, mm-hmm. Maybe watching porn, maybe just constant lying, maybe like misusing money, like, and just all the raw emotions that come up with that. Like, you really have to have a capacity to deal with that, and it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with the work that we do with coaching, like, it has to some degree we have to be able to, like, hold those emotions, because if we don't know what to do with those, we'll never be able to penetrate, like, the defenses that continually, like, circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, the actual place where the pain is. And if that pain isn't dealt with, like, if God isn't invited into that space, like, if their hearts are hardened, it's going to be hard to have change. Like, biblically, like, we see when there's a hardness of heart, there's a rebellion. You know what I'm saying? Like, when there's a hardness of heart, there is this lack of connection, lack of intimacy. And so when I think of a person like that encountering, like, kids, I think that is something that also drives me, because it made me think about our son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Our son, being on the spectrum, it's like, I need a healthy person to teach my son, because if you don't have the capacity to understand him, or at least meet him where he is with being on the spectrum, and he can't really, let me take that back, because we've been getting praise reports about where he is.
Yes, he's done amazing.
Like, he's able to communicate more.
Yeah.
But if you're not patient with him, you're not going to be a good space for my son. Mm-hmm. And so I want to go around and help as many marriages to impact those babies in a greater way. So that's also a part of the mission and vision too.
That's it. What has been your favorite moment 5 years, as we reflect on 5 years, what has been your favorite moment?
That's a great question, but I think I really have one that trumps all of them.
Okay.
I think it's like after like, just having my head down from like just doing and serving and working and helping and, laboring and praying. Like, and when I look up, seeing you by my side is really, really like the best part, because like when I do this work, when we do this work, when you do the work, whether it's working with, I don't know, whatever, to know that we're doing it together is like the greatest joy for me. And so,
That's so sweet, me.
I mean, I'm being honest.
Yeah, I know.
It's one of the things that makes what we do so great. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing if like I'm doing it and it feels good, but it's another thing to feel like, man, we really impacting lives together.
Yeah.
So to me, I would say that's probably the best part by far.
Wow, how am I gonna trump that?
You got Trump.
No, I absolutely agree with that. In terms of just being a
You ain't got a trumpet, but you can't say my answer.
okay, right. But and with that, I do think that is one of the greatest part about having this shared vision and this shared mission that the Lord has called us on. And I think the fact that you actually like live out what you're teaching and what we're sharing, like, we're not putting on masks to try to show face, to show something different than what we live in our everyday real life. And because we're able to thrive by the grace of God and Him being in the center of it, we now can teach from that place, obviously, and with the Holy Spirit. And so, but one of my favorite moments, it's hard to pick one, but one that just the first one to pop in my mind is when we did the marriage revival last year. And all of the couples, you had them turn to one another and pray for each other. And they were hugging each other. Like we were standing there hand in hand, but we were looking out and everyone's hugging each other and they're crying and they're praying and just seeing the Spirit move in that place. And in marriages, you can tell it was something that was needed, something that shifted. Like it was a 3-night revival, but each night you can feel a different layer, a different, and it was just so beautiful. Like, this is why we do what we do. Like, some of them may not hug no more, or may not pray for each other. And so I think that moment is highlighted in my mind in the last 5 years. I would say that. And of course, the discipleship group in itself and what it represents, and being able to like get our hands in there and intimately get to know these couples.
Yeah, that's good. I think another one is just the retreat for me. And I think the retreat was just so, I don't know, it was so good. The venue was just beautiful. Seeing the couples be where they are after 6 months.
The growth. Oh my gosh, the growth.
You know what I'm saying? Like just seeing like men laughing with other men, seeing them like, hold their wives differently, like seeing like, man, when you really commit to the process and you really commit to the Lord, like what can happen in your marriage? Like you can really reconcile. Like you can really be happy. You can really thrive. You can really be so grateful at what God is doing that it really starts to change you from the inside out. It's no longer just like, man, we went on this good date night, we had this good food, or we had this good conversation. It's like, no, like we actually changing. We really starting to look different, not because we know how to put on the right face, but because like inside we feel different.
Yeah.
Like we working through the problems that we struggle with. We talking about the things that we avoided. And it's like, man, like this is what it felt like. Like, why haven't we did this from the beginning? So just seeing that, it was so beautiful just to, see the couples just enjoy each other.
Yeah.
That was a good moment.
It was really, really good. And them enjoy each other, and also just hearing them reflect on what they've learned and what has happened and what transpired and the nuggets and just the growth. Like literally some of the marriages came in at fragile places. And so to see in 6 months how God turned that thing around, it was just really, really amazing to see.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to 50 more years, honey.
Me too.
Not just of our marriage, but of impacting marriages.
Oh, I was talking about my marriage.
Oh, we gonna go more than 50. Oh, hello. More than 50 years. I'm young.
Ish. Okay.
Let's wrap this up before you get in trouble. I do want to do a marriage emotion.
Okay.
And I think for this week's marriage emotion, because we have introduced our community as thrivers and we're all about thriving together and thriving after the altar, I think it's fitting to have you guys discuss what is an area that you want to grow in your marriage. Have a conversation with your spouse. What is one area? Because there may be many things that comes to mind, but just focus on one thing, one area. If it's communication, if it's intimacy, if it's unity, if it's spiritual alignment, if it's emotional connection, whatever that is, find one area that you guys want to thrive in, discuss it, pray about it, and come up with a plan of like, okay, this is what we can do and what we will do so that we are making forward motion in our marriage and actually find ourselves thriving.
Man, and we just welcome y'all to season 2.
Season 2, it's going to be good. Let me tell you, you have no idea what we have planned. This season is going to look different. If you're here and you were here in the beginning and you're expecting things to be the same, we've changed up our set. We're bringing in people that we are going to be interviewing. We're going to be hearing from a lot of different people, a lot of wisdom, a lot of different stories, and I cannot wait. You guys are in for a treat, so make sure you stick around and share as we are reflecting on our 5-year anniversary of LEVLOVE. Thank you for being a part of the journey, and if you're watching this, you are a part of that, and so thank you so much for helping us to change lives. And with our goal to impact 1 million couples, share it. Don't be stingy now. These episodes that are going to be coming out weekly, make sure you share it with a couple that is in need or not in need. Yeah, they could be doing good, but could be better. So that's ours. We still do. Peace.
Gonna love you and always. No doubt you're my blessing. Ain't no second guessing. No one can separate.